doing a lot of different things because the NBA playoffs are upon us. And I really thought that this would be the best time to implement the morning after questions and concerns. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of concerns. As you can see, my background, I'm in Madison Square Garden. Not realistically, but my heart is there. And I think I speak for a lot of Knicks fans. There's a lot of frustration. But my biggest question is really more or less a concern. I'll start off my concern. When we want to point the finger at the obvious, Mikal Bridges, we want to look at that as Knicks fan. I'm saying me. We want to point the fingers at Mikal Bridges. Oh, he's terrible. He's this. He's that. No, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to say is, let's put the blame on management. Put the blame on them. You gave up 5 first-round picks, unprotected, to the Brooklyn Nets to get Mikal Bridges and make him into something that he's not. He's not that type of a player, and I mean no disrespect. But you're putting him in a position and all that pressure that's been applied. And look, as a professional that he is, he's going out there doing his best, but he has not been set up for success. This is one example, unfortunately, of the Knicks trying to get cute. I want to get the Villanova Knicks. And you made one mistake, one move that's going to have a trickle-down effect for years to come. So now the Knicks are in this space right now, down 2-1. It's not over. They can still win game. They can still win game 4. It's going to probably have to go 6 or 7 now. Definitely 6, obviously 7. But the biggest thing is when you want to put the blame, you can say Mike Brown, you can say this person, that person. Always refer back to the fact is what the Knicks gave up trying to get Mikal Bridges. 5 unprotected first-round picks. And that is something that's going to be very, very hard to overlook when the mandate was for this team to get to the NBA Finals. This was supposed to be the season. No Tyrese Halliburton, the nemesis. Jason Tatum is back. But nevertheless, you knew that it was going to be the Knicks and the Pistons to do battle. And I like the chances of the Knicks. I'm sorry, Rick. So I just question why. But that's my biggest concern, is that when you look at the whole landscape of everything, remember, Knicks management made the decision to get cute and try to make the Villanova Knicks. And right now, we're seeing that's not good enough to get it done thus far. It's still time. It's still plenty of games, but the clock is ticking. So all that frustration, it has to be directed somewhat to Knicks management along with Mikal Bridges. Let's just keep it real. He only took 3 shots. Can't blame him for the shots that he didn't get because he didn't get that many shots. On the flip side of this, I think that my concern, or better yet, my question, when I look at the Atlanta Hawks and seeing the growth and the development of Jonathan Kuminga, I'm starting to question, should we start to shine the spotlight on the great Steve Kerr? Think about this. You mean to tell me Jonathan Kuminga wasn't good enough to play, forget about starting, but play for the Golden State Warriors? Or he wasn't impactful enough for the Golden State Warriors? I'm starting to question that. It's quite obvious Steve Kerr didn't like him. Yeah, probably didn't like young guys coming in and trying to develop them. I get that. But at the end of the day, when you look at the Golden State Warriors and all their glory years and all that success, you're going to have to go back and say they had a moment in time that they could have been able to rebuild on the fly with 1 foot in the present, with the talent that they had, as well as 1 foot in the future. And now to dismiss Jonathan Kuminga, often question, did they pull the plug too soon or never really gave an honest chance in the development of James Wiseman? Big men, we all know, take time to develop. He's had some injuries. Obviously, it hasn't played out and panned out. But let's be clear. If he wasn't that good, why did the Golden State Warriors draft these guys? Only guy is Moses Moody, who's been out. He's been injured. He was a rotational player. But the biggest thing is what these playoffs are shining a light on is the fact is Jonathan Kuminga really looks like he wasn't given a bona fide chance to be a Golden State Warrior and work through the ups and downs of what you can expect from a young player who had no previous college experience, no previous pro experience. Yeah, he played in the G League with the G League Ignite. But to have a guy come in there, you mean to tell me this young man couldn't have impacted your franchise and set them up for success moving forward? I can't understand that. So essentially, what you gave away and what you got in return was little to nothing. And at the end of the day, that's probably why the Golden State Warriors are headed for a strong rebuild somewhere down the line. Questions that I have, just trying to figure those out. First night of the NFL draft looked pretty true to form. Very curious to understand how can the picks be advanced in social media than the actual live feed that's coming from the events from the specific networks that are covering it. You got to be able to fix that. You're going on social media. That's what I did last night. Go on social media to see some of the picks, how they were taking place 15 minutes or so before they were put up on the screen during the course of the presentation by the networks. Get it together. Too much technology out there to steal your moment in the spotlight. Those are my questions, concerns. I got to leave one. I forgot to leave. I almost left one out, but I got to include the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now that we're seeing how things are playing out, take a nice victory over the Denver Nuggets. Are the Minnesota Timberwolves once again headed back to the Western Conference Finals? It's all about matchups. I've said that from day one. And then I'll leave you with this. So many people laughed at me. Get out of here. You don't need no LeBron James in New York. I said at one point, beg, borrow, plead, whatever you had to do. Can you imagine you having LeBron James in the Knicks uniform at this current moment right now? How good that would be. Having him aside from Karl Anthony Towns, having him alongside a Jalen Brunson. But it's too late now. But nevertheless, there's still some hope. Those are my questions and concerns. Bottom Line Sports Show. Peace. Subscribe to the channel. And follow me.